Hi guys, so I'm a new online tutor for MPub, and today I want to give you guys a kind of live experience of talking with native English speakers. So often, you can revise textbooks, but it's not as good as actually talking to someone who speaks fluent English. So what I thought would be good is if anyone's got any questions, any specific content they'd like us to cover, then they can put it in. You can put it in the comment section below, and I'll reply to all of you. I'll correct your English for you if there's any kind of mispronunciations. And yeah, I think it'll be a good experience of talking with someone who is fluent in English and a native speaker. And if anyone's got any questions, feel free to let me know. And yeah, I look forward to it. So to give you guys a little bit of background about myself, I'm 23 years old. I've just recently graduated uni. So I studied English language at undergraduate level. And I live in Liverpool, which is an amazing city. If you're considering studying in the UK, I would 100% recommend Liverpool. I love Liverpool. I will 100% always back up Liverpool. Home to Liverpool Football Club. People like Steven Gerrard, Mo Salah. We've got a rich culture here. And it's just a brilliant place to come to uni. Obviously, you could study anywhere in the UK, but I might be biased, but Liverpool is definitely my favorite city in the UK. And yeah, so I've just recently become an online tutor here. I've recorded a couple of videos so far, but now I'm looking to do some live talks and have a kind of one-on-one back and forth interaction. So Rabi, hello. We've got a comment, and just if you have any kind of questions at all, just feel free to put them in the comment section and I'll be able to answer them and have a kind of dialogue, have a conversation with someone who's native. So we've got some people coming in, and yeah, I wanted to kind of, if anyone is watching, you can put in the comment section, tell me where you're from. So I'm from Liverpool. I know there's a lot of people from Bangladesh, India, Italy, wherever you're from, feel free to let me know. And tell me about your hometown, tell me where you come from, tell me what the weather's like where you are, and tell me what time it is where you are, because I know time zones are completely different. So it's 12 midday right now where I am, but I know it could be 10 at night, it could be 4 a.m. wherever you are, so let me know. And then I'll get a sense of kind of who my audience is, what things you'd like me to cover on the page. So far I've covered writing tips. And I think that's something that with my degree, I've learned quite well, and how to write, how to structure essays. So that's something I've wanted to talk about this week. But I know a lot of people might want to talk about listening exercises, speaking, because they can be quite tricky. If you're trying to listen to where people are from, it might be quite tricky at first. So yeah, Bangladesh. I know there are a lot of people in our audience are from Bangladesh, and I've never been to India. I would love to go, but I've never been. I've never left Europe, so I'm pretty boring. I've been to Italy, France, England, but I've never been outside of Europe, outside of our continent. So I'd love to eventually, but yeah, with coronavirus and all this, I've pretty much been sat in my room doing nothing for like years, as I'm sure everyone else has. But yeah, I think I'll give a little bit more background on myself. So I did study English language at uni. I really enjoyed it, but now I'm going on to study a master's in social research. And I feel like this is going to kind of further my studies, and eventually I could do a PhD. I could go on to lots of different things. And yeah, I want to know, like, what kind of degrees are you guys considering doing? Because I know a lot of people do IELTS or IELTS, however you want to say it. I know a lot of people do that specifically to come to uni. So I was wondering, what degrees are you guys considering doing? And why do you want to study in the UK? What brings you to the UK? I mean, it's a brilliant place, brilliant culture, but it's a long way away from Bangladesh. And so I just want to know why you specifically would want to come to the UK. So yeah, you can learn American or British English, obviously. I mean, a lot of people, when I go to university, a lot of people I meet, they'll be from Bangladesh or Italy, but they'll speak with a really American accent, which is always quite funny to me because, there's no reason why you should speak with an American accent over an English accent, because it is English, I guess. But there is American English and British English. So, there are slight differences. There's even differences in spelling and stuff like that as well, not just accents. Like the word color, COLOUR. In America, that's spelt without the U. So there are little differences. And I mean, if you're studying over here, I don't think people would have much of a problem if you used American or British English, because they are both variations of English. So I don't necessarily think you need to worry about that too much, because there are small differences. And I mean, if you're studying in the UK, maybe you'd want to have an English accent. I mean, it just depends, really. I mean, my brother used to have an Italian girlfriend, and she learned English in Liverpool. Now, if you guys are familiar with Liverpool, Liverpool's got really crazy kind of accent. I don't have it myself, really, but it's very unique accent. And so when someone from really far away speaks with a Liverpool accent, it's quite funny. But it's nothing you should worry about. I mean, as long as you speak in English, it's nothing to worry about, really. But yeah, that's definitely a good point to bring up, because everyone in the UK has completely different accents anyway. I mean, I've got quite a weird accent, really. I don't really sound like I'm from here, even though I've lived here my whole life. And that's because my dad was born in Ireland, my mum was born in Wales, I was born in Scotland, but then I've lived in England my whole life. So I've got quite a weird accent myself. So I can't really tell you to specifically choose either accent. So in terms of other questions I have for you guys, I was wondering what kind of things you guys do in your free time. And I was wondering if they're different to what I do, because I know we've got a very culturally diverse kind of audience, people from all different backgrounds, and I'm always really interested to learn about other ways of life and to learn about all different kinds of cultures, what different people do, what's normal for you, what's not normal for me. And yeah, I just want to hear about, your hobbies. So what kind of things do you do for fun? Like for me, myself, I play a lot of football. I get injured a lot, so I don't play it as much as I want. Just recently, I dislocated my shoulder, but hopefully I can play football again soon. But with coronavirus, it's all kind of been stopped for a while. But in the UK, coronavirus, everything's opening up again from July 19th. So hopefully I can keep playing football at uni. Okay, so hi Walid, and he said, I just graduated a week ago. I studied English literature. Could you please recommend me some ways for studying master degrees abroad? So I did English literature myself as well. I did English literature and English language, but I decided I liked English language a bit more. So I've kind of gone and explored that further. But English literature's a great degree. So you've just graduated. Where did you study, Walid? Were you studying in the UK already, or are you looking to do a master's in the UK? Because I know there's lots of good master's programs. I think applications for it, you probably need to start doing your application quite soon, because I think most of the applications finish in August. But there's lots of different degrees, and you don't have to limit yourself to an English literature master's. You could do a master's in, whatever you wanted, really, as long as it kind of relates to English. I mean, I did English language undergraduate level, and now I'm going on to do social research. So there's a crossover, there's like an overlap between each of them. Oh, in Egypt, great. So I love Egypt because of Mo Salah, so that's perfect. Mo Salah, Liverpool, Egypt, we've got that connection. So that's great. I mean, I would recommend, Egyptian people are loved in Liverpool because of Mo Salah. So I would recommend Liverpool to you 100%. But obviously it depends what kind of masters you want to do. I mean, they're all kind of, some unis are very different. Some have very specific masters. So it kind of depends what you want to do. If you look at the Uni of Liverpool, you might find none of the masters we have interest you. Whereas you might look at Manchester and, it could have your specific degree that you really want. So it's just about finding exactly what you want to do. Romania, yeah, I had a good friend at uni from Romania. When I first met him, his English was good, but I lived with him for, I think, 2 years. I lived with him for. By the end of that 2 years, his English was just great, because he was hanging out with us all the time, talking to us, and getting kind of, in real life experience of talking to actual native speakers. And I mean, I speak a little bit of Spanish myself, but I'm not fluent. You guys have probably got way better English than I've got Spanish. But I do notice whenever I go on holiday to Spain, just being around people who speak the language, and you pick up little things, and it's definitely useful. So lots of Romanian students studying in the UK. That guy I was friends with, he had a great time. And yeah, of course, you can join as a guest. I've not operated this before, but do you know how to get people to join as a guest? We'll try add you shortly. Next time. Oh, okay. So basically, I've been informed that next time I can add you as a guest. This time, he doesn't want to, but I promise I'll be here regularly, and we can definitely have one-on-one communication. But yeah, just for now, if you can just comment stuff, and we can have more one-to-one speaking at the next live stream, 100%. But yeah, Rabi, where are you from? So yeah, I'm from Liverpool, a great city, great culture. But honestly, there's so many good unis in the UK, and particular other cities I really like. I love Glasgow. Glasgow's in Scotland. Glasgow, very similar kind of city to Liverpool. It's got very friendly people. Like, people in Liverpool are always quite proud of being quite friendly. So whereas in other places in the UK, maybe people aren't so friendly, but here people are very friendly. Glasgow, Scotland in general is great. Glasgow's really friendly, and just a great city with a great culture, history. Manchester's also great. Manchester, there's lots of amazing shops. So if I want to go shop, if I want to waste all my money, I'll go Manchester on the train and spend the day there. Maybe go to a gig, see music there. There's lots of great music from Manchester. You guys might know Oasis, Stone Roses, Joy Division, all these great bands that have come from Manchester. And you'll find that, even today, there'll be great music over there. So if you're going to study there, you want to go somewhere where you're going to get a good degree, obviously, but you also want to go somewhere that has kind of a culture and a nightlife, maybe, if that's your kind of thing. So you've got to weigh all these kind of things into it, into where you're going. You know, obviously the degree is important. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely important, but you want to have a good social life and make sure that all elements of your uni life are good. Because I remember when I first went to uni, it's quite hard to balance your work, your social life, and maybe your physical health. If you go to the gym as well, you're doing all these different things, and you want to make sure you've got a good setup and a good way of doing things. How are you? So yeah, I'm good today. I'm okay. I mean, it's not the best weather. It's strange in the UK at the moment. It's either raining loads one day and then the next day it'll be just really sunny. So I never know what to wear. So today I've worn a shirt, but I'm kind of regretting it because it's really hot in here now. But it's just that's the UK for you. You can't predict the weather. I know India is, I think it's a lot nicer weather than here. It's a lot hotter all the time. So I'm definitely jealous of you guys for that. How cheap is Liverpool compared to London? I mean, Liverpool is definitely cheaper than London. I mean, London, I think you get paid slightly more for working jobs there, but it doesn't really cover the difference in how expensive things are. So it's just that kind of situation. I know in Liverpool, if you're looking to buy a pint, pint of beer, you can get it for maybe £2.50, depending on how nice an establishment you go to. But in London, I know you can get pints of beer can be £7, £5, £8. So it depends. I mean, if you're going to want to be going out drinking all the time at uni, you're probably not going to want to go to London. But London's definitely more expensive. I mean, it's that kind of situation, but I wouldn't stop it from letting you go somewhere. In general, I'd say London's probably one of the more expensive places, but if you're savvy and you can budget well, I think it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So in terms of other questions I'd like to ask you guys, I want to kind of find out what types of lessons you'd like me to do. So I will be doing some live lessons, but also I want to know kind of what you guys would prefer from the content. So I've covered writing so far, but is there, do you guys want specific help with listening or reading? Because I think that's something which we'd like to know. And so we can kind of tailor our content to you guys and work out what everyone needs improvement with. How easy is it to work and study? So, I mean, it really depends what degree you do. So I did English language, which is quite a relaxed degree in a way. You kind of plan your own time. There's not many like tutorials and classes you need to go to. It's more you're in the library reading, digesting information, and then doing your essay. But I know people who, so if you're doing biomedical science, something very technical, you might be in labs all the time, and balancing work around that might be difficult. But it all depends on your work ethic, your motivations. I mean, I know a lot of people who worked full time and studied as well. So it definitely can be done. It just depends on your motivation, I guess, and what your priorities are. I mean, I'm doing my master's in September, but I'm motivated to work with MPub during that time. And I think, it'll be good experience, and I'll stay motivated for my master's as well. So it's just about balancing your time. I mean, it's not easy to balance everything in your life, especially if you've just moved to a new country. So it does take time. I wouldn't put pressure on yourself, especially in your first year. I would try to just enjoy yourself, enjoy your time, stay motivated, but don't dwell too much on how much you should be doing. I think your first year should be quite introductory. So Diana says, I would like to improve my vocabulary, especially when I go to interviews. So maybe some classes to prepare us for job and university interviews. Okay, I could definitely do that. I think interviews are a lot about how you come across. So obviously having good spoken English, that stands you in really good stead. That would be a really important thing to begin with. And yeah, definitely I could do that. I could 100% do that. I also know that there's a lot of medical students who want to come here from abroad. So I might do some specific kind of medical language and stuff like that as well. But yeah, I think interviewing is definitely a skill which would be good to cover, because interviewing is hard enough in your own language. In another language, I can't even imagine. It would be very difficult, but it's something that it's a skill you can learn. It's a skill you can learn basically. And I think with my classes, we'll be able to go over that and improve your confidence. So you're going into the interview with a clear mindset and you're able to get the job. So some other things I want to talk about today. I wanted to say kind of which areas do you guys think you're best at? So do you think, that's no problem, Diana. Which areas do you think you need to improve on? Which areas are you best at? And just give me a sense of what you got, how good your guys' English is so far. Because in the comments, you're all writing really well. I was expecting to have to correct some stuff. I'm not going to lie, but everyone's done a great job. There's not really been any errors in literacy at all. You've all been very good. So Andre says, hi, I would like to improve my English for when I go on holidays. So going on holidays, that's definitely a skill in itself. I mean, you can learn a kind of conversational level of English that will help you get by. So asking for stuff like the bill, food, these kind of vocabulary topics that are going to crop up. And, I think you could give the impression that you've got really fluent English if you just learn a few set elements of vocab. So I find it when I go to Spain, I find it particularly useful when I'm on the plane to just go over vocab cards, and then you'll see more like a local. And I think there's definitely set vocab you could learn. So I could definitely do a video on that. I could do a video on improving your English for going abroad, and getting by on holiday. So Georgiana, hello. She says, hi, I would like to know more about the grammar. So that's actually really lucky, because today I'm going to be releasing a video on the page specifically about grammar. So there's some trickier elements of grammar that you just need to know basically to give a good, effective account of your English. And so today I'll be discussing the passive voice. I'll be discussing modal verbs, and I'll also be discussing pronouns. Pronouns are particularly useful for essay writing because you can say, I would like to argue. You've got the first person pronoun I there. You can even use we in essays as well. You can say, we are going to discuss this. And I feel like that a good understanding of pronouns and, myself, yourself, those are called reflexive pronouns. And a good understanding of these will improve your mark basically and allow you to score higher bands. So there'll be a lot of content on grammar. You don't need to worry about that. We'll we'll be dealing with grammar quite a lot, because that's really what sets aside, you know, asking for stuff versus really being able to explain yourself. So grammar and vocab is something we're definitely going to be talking about on the live streams, as well as on the recorded videos as well. So I want to plan some short, snappier content where I just discuss, for example, pronouns. And I think then we'll be able to get everyone passing their writing exams, because grammar definitely is what will get you the higher bands. As well as grammar, I think next week I'm going to be talking about listening exercises particularly, because I know a lot of people have some difficulty with that. I know myself, when I'm learning Spanish as a second language, listening can be quite a different skill because people are speaking so fast. I mean, that's what you guys are doing with me right now. But it's definitely a different skill than writing and being able to read and process information. I find listening can be particularly difficult. I mean, to take Spanish for an example, Spaniards speak very quickly, and it's often harder to really understand what they're saying. I mean, when people are speaking to me in Spanish, I'm kind of pausing and I take a minute to think about what they're saying first, and then I can speak. So it's just about improving your speed with that, with listening, and noticing different words and being able to categorize it and respond. So if you guys have any other questions, I'd be interested to know. I think these classes, a lot of them will be live, and next time I definitely want to bring some of you in and be able to have conversations with you guys and see where we're all at in terms of spoken English. Like I say, understanding someone's one thing, being able to speak it yourself with, you know, grammatical accuracy, good range of vocab. It's different skills, and ones that we're going to walk you through on the page. And so I think I've covered everything I want to cover for this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys subsequently in future videos. And I think, unless anyone has any other questions, I think that'll be it for this live session. But next time, definitely going to be a lot more interactive elements. I'm bringing a lot more of you in and engaging with you, seeing where you're all at. And yeah, if no one has any other questions, then I will leave you to it. And later today, I'm going to be releasing a video on pronouns and how to use those in an essay, because it's important, and it will show your examiner that you understand all levels of grammar. So Walid says, why does IELTS 24 levels, meanwhile 16 level? So IELTS has a clear structure that you can learn. So, for instance, different examiner boards will have different ways of marking it, but in IELTS, there's a clear structure. So you'll be able to, on my page, I've walked through writing task 1. I've done a walkthrough of writing task 2. And if you learn the structures and the ways of answering the questions, the exam technique, then you'll be able to pass the test with flying colors, as we say here. And Diana says, when will it be next time? So I will be doing another live performance on Monday, and we'll be able to have more of a chat with you all. Let's say we'll do it at 2 o'clock on Monday, and I'll be able to bring you guys in and have more of a chat with you all, get to meet you all, get to talk to you all. So it's not just me talking to the camera. But you guys have been great asking questions in the comments. And so, yeah, just make sure. John Carlos says, I would like to know a specific technique or strategy to improve my pronunciation. So your written English is great there. No errors, perfect grammar. to improve your pronunciation, of course, that's another skill. I mean, for me, to improve my pronunciation is really just to listen to native speakers. I mean, I often find when I'm trying to learn a second language, what's particularly useful is just hearing native speakers talk, because you're going to pick up their pronunciations and their way of saying things. Because if you're only just reading from a textbook, you know, it's hard to gauge how we actually speak, because there's so many weird irregularities in English. I mean, door is pronounced door, but it's spelled D-O-O-R. So if you read that in a book, it would just be doer. So these are things that you need to kind of listen to native speakers with. And so that would probably be my number one recommendation. Also, I find I'm going to do some classes like this as well, but I find watching TV series with captions is particularly useful, especially TV series you might already know. So let's say you know Friends, the American TV show. Let's say you know it really well. Well, if you watch it with subtitles, you're going to be able to process more of the information and see what words are pronounced in what way. Obviously, they will be American pronunciations, but you know, you get the idea. So yeah, unless anyone has any further questions, feel free to ask. But I'll see you guys on Monday at 2 p.m. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all. If you are interested in grammar, definitely check out the videos later today, because I'm aiming to record 2 or 3 today, and specific parts of grammar that are quite tricky and that people might need to improve for the next time. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Definitely check out the videos later, and that's the end of the broadcast. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you guys on Monday.